It's like 2 in 1 here.
Well, I got two. Okay. Welcome.
Is it actually 2? Oh, it's more than 2. Shit.
Welcome to the podcast. We are experiencing the big sad, as you may have heard from our post that will go out with this podcast.
Tragic.
Never waste a tragedy. Listen to our podcast instead. So we got the big sad beers for the big sad. I got one for each of us.
Oh, well.
I wasn't going to just be like, hey, you have two.
I brought
two and
these
I
were
have
left
two.
over from my taco party, so
Yes, the taco party.
might as well drink them if you got them.
You don't want one of these ones? That
I
too
mean-
much?
It's probably too much
All right.
for
Fuck, man, I bought these and
shit.
Whatever.
Hey, 2 for you, man.
That's cool, man. It's going to get messy.
It's gonna get messy.
Tears are going to start falling.
Our tour is canceled. We need to
Canceled.
drink.
Canceled tour as tradition. We haven't canceled a tour before.
I was thinking about that on the way here. I don't think that there's like
We've had shows, but never like
yeah.
a full trip.
Yeah, I think obviously COVID notwithstanding. I think the
Doesn't
only
count.
other one was the Icelandic volcano. Was that like a full tour?
I think it was. I think. Jeez, I don't even remember really. It was like,
Wasn't that just for one festival? Or
yeah, we were going to keep it true,
something? Yeah.
and then that was like,
Shitty.
it didn't. That was like an act of God type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's more of an act of the financial god. Which
Act
Greek
of
god?
humans.
Which Greek god is the god of finances?
It's probably Financius or something.
Financius? I think it's both of these.
Oh, okay. Both of these nuts.
Bro. Yeah, so just a little peek behind the curtain of why it's curtains. We so we had a tour booked. We've had in the past, it's a little difficult. Like when you book like a festival run European style, it's like, yeah, you've got these sort of bigger festival dates as your like anchors.
Yep.
And then try and do some fill-in shows. And the fill-in shows are always kind of hit and miss because it's like it is summer. Usually it's like in July. So it's like peak summertime. Not everybody's like around to go to shows.
People are on vacation.
Yeah,
People
a lot
are
of people
away.
are just going to the festivals. It's like, well, I go see one band when you
Yeah.
can see fucking every band play at Hellfest or something.
Yeah, for sure.
So right off the bat, those like in between shows can be kind of like, we've had some really great ones, and then we've had a few that were like,
We've also had some really
Ooh.
great stinkers.
yeah, some stankers, which are still always fun. Like, as long as one person shows up, it's like good enough. It's like that kind of thing. But
Getting that first person, that's the hard part, though.
yeah. Yeah, so we had we already had a pretty light amount of shows going
Yeah.
into it. We were like, okay, we can probably still make this work. Like,
Well, I think originally we had a couple festivals in, what was that, like late June? And then we had we were having a hard time filling in like 2.5 weeks or so. And then we had another run of festivals. So it's kind of like almost 2 small runs connected by a gap of a nice little vacation or something,
yeah.
which is financially stressful for a band.
Especially because we're not from there.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to pay for your, you got to keep your van rental every day that you're out there, whether you're playing shows or not. You got to pay for your rented gear, accommodations. Obviously, I got to sleep somewhere. You got to eat food, yada yada yada. So it's kind of tough. And then we're like, okay, well, it's we probably can't do both because we can't afford to just sit around and do nothing for like 2 weeks in the middle of these 2 tour chunks.
Yeah.
So let's just pick one. And then we decided to do the later one, which would be like July, August,
Yeah.
which had, I would say, the bigger festivals in it. And then for those who don't know, usually when you're booking European festivals, you sort of book almost about a year in advance. And so it can be challenging if you are trying to fill in dates because everybody has already booked the festival months or even a year ahead. I mean, we're already booking into next summer into 2024. Reschedule these and fill up some other dates. So it's we had sort of a bigger thing. We chopped it down to one half, and then we were looking at it. We had some more. We were sort of waiting around to make sure we're making the right decisions, and we're like, okay, yeah, let's finalize this. Let's do it. Send our booking agent the final confirmation. He's like, okay. Then we go out and buy our flights, which were very expensive, and then to do all the logistics because we're playing in the EU as well as the UK, so we had to do some flights in between to make some festivals, and it gets expensive, and then we were just waiting for the final confirmation to announce some of the smaller shows and stuff, and then our agent kind of gets back to us, is like, oh, I got some bad news, guys.
Well, it's like two of the venues we were going to play closed.
Yeah.
Or something. Maybe I don't know if they closed or if they just were like, we're not doing anything for the summer, because I could see,
Yeah.
whatever. And then one was like, they had a change in booking agency and we had to renegotiate. And then there
Change
was
in staff, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a few other ones, just things.
I think of one of the smaller festivals that we were going to play folded.
Yeah.
They're just like, sorry, nobody bought tickets. We're damn. Shit.
Yeah, so it's just too many. We were already like,
Too many
okay,
L's.
we can probably make this work if we get this at the minimum. And then it was just bad news, and you're just like, wow, we're if there's one thing we know, it's what you budget for the tour is one thing, and then the reality of it once you go is totally different. Last summer, we had you guys can go back and listen to that podcast about how last summer went.
How many L's we took.
Because it's just man, things just pile up. We got fined for not understanding the tolls in Austria and stuff like that. Some problems with their van and everything, and just man, such a financial blow.
Yeah, I think one thing that people don't realize is how much planning and work you have to do to get tours ready to go. I mean, obviously you have to coordinate with your booking agent, and booking tours takes a lot of time and effort, certainly. And you usually have a couple anchor dates. So for us, that was I think Bloodstock was that was the final bigger festival that we were doing. We're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be sick. Okay, that's obviously the last day of the tour, and then it's kind of okay, how do we fill in other days up to it? And then it can be really challenging, just getting anything done.
Well, and the other thing too is we haven't put an album out for 5 years, and so it's sort of if you're a booking agent, you're just well, what's going on with this band?
Yeah.
It's well, they haven't done anything in 5 years, so is there any interest in booking them if they're sort of defunct? It's no, we got a new album, but it's not out yet. So, but
it's also challenging because we have the new album and we're thinking, oh, let's, originally back before we were recording it, we're thinking, oh, maybe, we should record it for this or release it for this European tour. And then it's no.
Everything just takes so much more time.
Yeah.
There's just so many open-ended questions that take forever to get answered.
Yeah.
How are we releasing the album? Are we going to go with a label? Are we going to do it ourselves again? And it's just, there hasn't been an obvious answer yet.
No.
So we're still kind of in limbo with that stuff. Originally, we wanted to get it out in June.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't think we even got the masters in time for that.
Yeah, no. Everything takes longer than you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Everything takes forever. Big sad. Many big sads.
So yeah, I got a message from the one festival, and they're just when are we gonna announce this? And I was like, oh shit, we should get on that right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel so bad. I don't want to. Canceling sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I think the only time we've really canceled was things out of our control or being sick.
Yeah. Hurricane, there was some canceled shows due to a hurricane.
It's just if we can
Volcano.
do it and we're not going to ruin our lives
Yeah.
by doing it, then we'll do it. But
Yeah,
it's
because I
just
think
like,
at the end of the day, I mean, I think another interesting thing that probably a lot of people don't realize is just how little you get paid at festivals, like big festivals.
yeah, depending
I
on
mean, if you're a headliner, yeah, you're making bank, but I would say for the most part, any big metal fest you go to, like any of them, the biggest ones to the, well, maybe not the smallest ones, but especially in Europe, like the big outdoor ones, probably half the bands, I would suspect either aren't getting paid or are making less than probably 200 to 500 bucks.
yeah, I guess it depends.
I mean, you
Or
could
even I would say like
I would say most of
sub
them
1,000.
I would say most bands aren't getting paid. Like on the
Yeah.
big festivals, if you're like first band on
Yeah.
whatever stage, like if you're first band on the main stage, yeah, you're probably getting paid. But
I don't think we've done a festival for free.
no, I have
Yeah.
in other bands,
Previous bands.
yeah, in previous bands, it's like big European festivals. I mean, that's definitely where the exposure bucks comes into play. I mean, even some of the festivals that we had,
To be fair, it is kind of like,
it is sick. It's like one of your best opportunities,
Yeah.
but I think people are like, "Oh, you're playing in front of 10, 20,000 people, like you're probably making a ton
You're
of
probably
money."
making $20,000.
Yeah,
20,000 people pay $1 to see
Yeah,
you. It's
no,
like,
that's
no.
not how it works. No, maybe you're making, like 500 bucks. Because I mean, even at some of the larger festivals that we played at, we've been, you know, not headlining one of the smaller stages, but we play
Do a
in the
decent
evening.
slot,
We do
yeah.
a decent slot. You're not making like $10,000 by
No.
any means.
No.
And I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's I was thinking too, like the guitar player from Archspire did
Yeah.
like a tour cost breakdown.
Oh
Dean-
yeah, I
think
think I
it's
saw
Dean.
that.
He that was a really good video if you guys are interested in like the logistics of touring. That is like even his video breakdown of touring was like, this is like a fairly successful band.
Yeah.
Like they're doing really well, and that's what their
Yeah, they
tour
spent
looks like. It's like,
$90,000 on merch and then they sold all of it,
yeah, like, that's fucking awesome.
which is great.
But it's like, we're not spending 90 grand
Yeah.
on merch when we go on tour. That's crazy. They must have crushed it. But
Yeah, damn boys out there crushing it.
yeah,
It's nice to see a band being successful, though.
yeah. There's a good couple that
Yeah,
are just kind of
the new hotness.
blowing up. UTA is
Yeah.
out there. Archspire's out there. Pretty sick.
Canadian boys.
Yeah, those are the two I can think of that I see most often. That I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
look at them views on
At
them
least
videos.
from Canada,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So it's nice
Pretty
to see
awesome.
that people are out there doing it.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. Ultimately, it all just comes down to logistics. I mean, we have friends out who are on tour. I think now even I think Riot City is on tour over in Europe. And I mean, if it works out normally, our tour would have worked out. But then there was just all this shit that got canceled, and it's just you. I mean, we just recorded an album.
That's
and
another big thing too.
Yeah.
It's like we're pretty heavily invested into our new record, and it's like if we go and lose all of our money for in some worst case scenario type thing, we go and come back heavily in debt, then it's just like, well, now we can't really release the justice that we would like to do. It's like we work really hard on it.
max all your credit cards and on a tour that loses a shit ton of money, and then we can't release an album the way that we want to. So
Yeah.
we kind of had to make a choice. But yeah,
I'm sure people get it.
yeah,
It's just interesting to talk about it because I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't realize like it's.
the finances of being in a band.
I also never realized like this is just like a general thing. It's like you kind of never realize how people see you, like as a band or even just like a person in general.
Yeah,
Like I'll be talking to someone and they'll mention some kind of thing like that where they'll say like, "Oh, well, you guys must, make this much money on tour," or they just have like this idea of what your band is in their head, like
Yeah.
how big it looks. It's like even when Pete was like watching the music video for
head first.
which
Yeah,
we took at that festival. it was sick.
Yeah.
Like it was great, and like the footage was rad, and it was cool. And then like Pete was like, yeah, when I watched that video, I was like, damn, they're huge.
That's a huge band up
And
there.
then he came on tour with us, and then we
He's like,
played.
oh shit!
And we played some. I mean, we played great shows, but then there's like the odd one that's just like kind of a dud, and you're just like, oh, huh. I didn't realize that this was still going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. It's like there's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot too. I can't remember who had that quote. Maybe it was you. It was talking about some drummer in a band that played like Madison Square Garden and then played to like 2 people the next day.
Oh.
It was something like that. It was just like, man, being a musician is kind of like that. Where
Yeah.
it's an entertainment business, right? Like not every night at the bar is full,
Yeah.
which is
Way she goes,
the way she goes.
bud.
So yeah, that's why.
That's
why
the
we're
hot
big
news.
sad. I mean, we're still playing Armstrong Metal
Yep.
Festival in the it's July 14th in Armstrong in BC.
Yeah. So that's our summer tour now.
Yeah.
So everyone from Europe who was going to see it at Bloodstock or Headbangers,
Fly in.
fly into Armstrong
There's
instead.
some good bands playing.
Yeah.
Warbringers playing.
You boys.
Yeah, that'll be fun. You're gonna see Stryker. I'm assuming will be in rare form.
Oh yeah, bud. Rare form.
We'll be having a party there for everybody. You'll see us around.
P-A-R-T-Y. P-A-R-T-Y.
Yeah, man. Well, it's a bummer. I mean, we've known for a little bit, but now we got to announce it and speak it into reality, which
Yeah.
sucks. But
Yeah.
hey, these guys are a bunch of fuckers who cancel their shit.
Shit.
I was traveling to Bloodstock just to see Stryker.
Whoops.
You've ruined my life.
Shit.
I always worry about shit like that. I got a message like yesterday or maybe 2 days ago asking about like Headbangers. Being
Oh,
like,
yeah?
hey, what's going on with that? Like, are you guys going to be around? And I haven't.
You guys gonna be hanging out?
I haven't
well, we
answered
were.
yet because I'm like, I don't want to tell them that.
Yeah,
I was like,
just like-
actually, we have to cancel.
Yeah,
Fuck.
some random person figures it out before like the promoter does or something.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
what I
like,
was
oh,
worried.
shit.
I was worried about that, but no, I think we're good to announce.
That's another thing. Cancellations or whatever, you always have to wait quite a while. Like, you got to get your booking agent to go back and connect with everybody, like all the different venues and festivals that you've contacted, and then they have to like go through and do the cancellation process. I mean, luckily for us, we didn't have like,
30 shows. Or something.
30 shows, and then like tickets weren't on sale for our headliner show, so and on top of that there's still time, but there's been a huge number of bands canceling recently. I think it was Shinedown canceled recently, Anthrax canceled, I think Unto Others canceled a European tour. The list goes on and on. There's just a ton of bands canceling right now, and it's all the same kind of shit. I think we were talking about it a little bit on the last podcast. I think everybody kind of blew their load a little bit on coming out of COVID, and I think a lot of venues like shut down, and then the ones that stayed open, they were really struggling, and then because as we mentioned, we've been impacted by some venues closing down or festivals shutting down. I think another big thing is that people are a little bit more apprehensive to make plans, because what we've certainly heard from our agent and just local promoters and whatever is that people now are much more likely to be just buying tickets at the door instead of pre-purchasing your tickets. Like, say in 2019 you're a band coming on tour, the people who are going to come are mostly going to buy the ticket ahead of time, so you know how many people, generally speaking, are going to be at your show. But now people are a little bit more apprehensive. It's like, oh, what if I get COVID? Blah, 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 blah.
So there's just like, maybe more recently not as much, but in the last year for sure. Like, you just like kind of, it's a little uncertain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for example, at my taco party that just happened this weekend, one of our friends was going to come, and then he got fucking COVID. He's like, sorry, I can't come. It's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Good thing you weren't a band on tour and had to cancel. I mean, I guess that's another thing. We
we had to cancel for COVID.
yeah,
too.
we got fucked by COVID.
Fucking
So yeah,
shit,
on
man.
tour that was just over a year ago. We all got COVID. So I mean, I I think that's impacted a lot of bands too. They're like, oh shit, we did go over, and then we got COVID, and then we had to fly home, and then
It's
we
like,
lost
that's
all our
so
money.
expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, well, all of our like deposits that we put in for everything is gone because it's like,
Yeah, I guess that's another thing. I mean,
damn.
luckily for us, we were able to get credit on our flights,
yeah,
but Air Canada tried to just not give us credit. Luckily, we have a corporate,
a watchdog.
a professional corporate watchdog in our ranks, and Simon.
Do not give up. Send the nastiest email you can fucking send. Because they were legit like, oh yeah, what it was they were gonna charge us a cancellation fee, which when we bought the tickets specifically said there won't be a fee to cancel, but you'll just get a voucher. And then so Simon just pulled that up and was just like sent a letter in or something like that.
Yeah.
And just absolutely terminated them. And
Yeah.
they were like, oh fuck, sorry. Like,
sorry.
Here's your money back. But it's like if you were someone who, like me, isn't necessarily that comfortable with conflict in that way.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, I don't really know, so okay.
Yeah.
But Simon's just like, no, fuck you.
Fuck you, I read the terms and conditions. You thought I
Yeah.
didn't read that giant bullshit paid 50 pages of shit? No, I read it.
did.
Fuck you.
Kill you. And then they just, instead of being like, oh, we tried to fuck you over and got caught,
Yeah.
they just say, oh, yeah, oops, our mistake. And
Yeah.
then they just go, and then it's like, think about how many people who tried something similar were just like, oh, I guess that's the policy, and just were nice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and essentially got
Or just didn't have enough
stolen from.
information.
yeah, exactly.
Like they just didn't know, and they're just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm fucked.
Yeah. Well, it's like Simon had the same thing with that one flight. If it's like your flight is later than, was it 3 hours?
If you're delayed?
If you're
you mean?
delayed 3
Yeah.
hours and they don't have a good excuse, like if it's not like the airplane's broken or something
Yeah.
like that, if it was just like their poor scheduling or workflow that fucked you up, you're entitled to like compensation for that, and it says it in the fine print. But it says
Yup.
it probably in size 2 font
Yeah.
at the very bottom of the last page or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we have to put this in because the government said so, because they're trying to protect people. But
Subsection A, subclause 2C, section 4 says, blah.
stuff's crazy, man.
Yeah, basically everyone's trying to fuck you over. I mean, that doesn't even go on to some of the other issues we've had with, distributors not paying us or stuff like that,
Man.
So the music industry in general is a hurting. I think there was
Dude, it'd be so nice if they could just clean the act, drain
Yeah.
the swamp.
drain the fucking swamp, man.
In theory, it's a great idea, but
Yeah. I mean, I think what it comes down to is that everybody likes I think people get into the music business because they like music or entertainment or doing whatever art form it is.
yeah.
And then some asshole is like, hey, I can make money off this. And then they're like, oh, well, this person will play for free for exposure bucks, and I'll pocket the money. This is great. Everybody wins. A person gets to play, do their art, and then some jerk off, promoter or whoever it is, manager, pockets most of the money. I mean, you hear that time and time again. That's basically the nature of the music industry, is people being predatory off
Yeah,
of people
it's-
who want to do
yeah.
music because they like it. But I mean, I think after you pass a certain threshold, you just have to look at the business side of it, because it's like, okay, I like shredding. Shredding is swear. How do I shred the most? And it's like, well,
I need to destroy these corporations.
yeah, I need to destroy some corporations, but also I need to make sure that my business is like in order. I can't just take wild losses on every tour, which is crazy. I mean, you hear about
we've
it
done
so often.
plenty of that in our
Yeah.
the history of the band. Like, man, there's been so. I mean, the strike. We used to joke about striker mentality,
Yeah.
which was just like, fuck it, let's just do it. Who cares? We'll do anything, right? Like, we'll just go and have fun. It's like if we have too many days off, that's great. We'll just fucking party.
Yeah.
It'll be great. And then you a couple of years of that goes by, and you're
Then you
just
get
like,
into your 30s.
we don't have any money.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I can't
ooh.
afford a flight. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, yeah, it's It's cutthroat business.
It's cutthroat. Yeah, I think
Cutthroat.
maybe it's a little bit easier when you're younger and you have no responsibilities. But it's like,
yeah.
oh, I have a mortgage. I can't afford to, go and stay over in Europe for a month and a half.
And that's the thing about tour too, is like if you work, which a lot of bands, I would say probably 90% of bands have members who are like full-time employees somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like not only do you lose, so say you go on a 4 or 5 week tour.
Yeah.
It's like not only are you maybe not making money on that tour,
Yeah.
you're also losing the income you would have made for like 5 people.
Yeah.
Like each person is losing like anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000
in lost income.
in just lost income. So it's like when you factor that in, it's like it starts to add up. It's like, okay, going on tour in Europe is like you start with, say it's like a month, so it's like each member say each member makes $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
As fucking dishwashers.
As filthy musicians,
Filthy
which they probably
dishwashers.
do. If you're a musician, you have no education. You're basically brain dead. The best you can get is some minimum
Warehouse
wage
job, bro.
Yeah.
So like you have 5 members doing that. So that's 10 grand right
you got
off the
5
bat.
dishwashers.
You have 5. Yeah, it's 10 grand in lost income. So
Somebody's got to wash dishes.
right? And then you've got, say, to get to Europe, we're looking at what? At least like
Well, our flights were like
$7,000?
$2,000 before. Like we had some flight vouchers from Air Canada fucking us
They
over.
were they were $2,000 each.
Yeah, before the discounts that we got.
God damn.
So for flights for 5 people. Now for us, we don't tour with any crew. I mean, sometimes we do, but generally speaking, we've been downsizing everything that we do. So we didn't have to pay, a sound guy to fly over with us or a merch person. But I mean, that would just increase costs exponentially as well.
Yeah. So $2,000 flights to Europe is like, that's
I mean, that doesn't include
$10,000 lost.
that doesn't include the flight from Europe to the UK to get the Bloodstock either. So I mean,
$10,000 in lost income. $10,000 in
flights, we'll call it.
Gear rental and all that other stuff. That's
Gear
probably
rental
another,
and
like,
van, that's probably another 5 at least.
$5,000. So it's like you're looking at just bare minimum, like $25,000.
Yeah, bare minimum. That's not including, buying food, buying water, buying gas, buying hotel rooms,
God, dude.
all that other shit.
And then you get income from the shows. But that's the thing. As soon as shows start getting canceled, you're like, oh,
Yep.
every
Yeah.
single one that we can't sell merch at, can't get a guarantee at. It's like,
yeah,
oof.
you get crushed real fast on tour. Like, I think that's another thing. You have so many costs up front that like a tour or an album, basically the entire music industry is you pile in all your money up front on something, you invest in something, and then you gotta pay it off over time. So for example, our tour with Beast in Black, which was a sick tour, like as we planned it, it was gonna, be a profitable tour. But for the US you gotta pay for your work visas, and then you gotta pay all these other fees up front. And then so right around when we had to cancel, unfortunately, was where we would start making money back. And then we canceled. It was like, oh shit, okay, so I think we may have just barely broke even or something.
I think we broke even. But
And then it's just like, well, shit, that sucks. And so what you planned for was to make some money, but the thing is, to make any money, you have to be on tour for like a certain time because there's so many upfront costs that you have to amortize across the time period.
Ooh, vocab.
And then, so yeah, if you're going over and you can't get enough shows to fill it up, then you're just fucked. It's curtains. And I mean,
sucks to suck.
yeah, it does suck to suck. And another thing is like you got to buy all your merch and stuff up front. And last tour on our European tour and our North American tour, it's like, again, due to COVID, so many businesses shut down, including like merch places. People are just like, well, the music industry sucked before, and now it's basically just dead. So fuck this, we're out. And people went on to do other things, and so like even getting merch is like if you want to get your merch order, you have to do it like 3 or 4 months in advance sometimes, or even more. Like
Yeah.
we were scrambling a lot just to get
Just to get like a
restocks.
box of
Yeah.
t-shirts. It's like, damn, it's like someone please take our money, and everyone's like, well, no, we don't have time. It's like,
Yeah.
how is this possible?
Yeah, how is this a thing?
It's like, damn, maybe we should start our fucking merch printing company.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of those small things that you don't think about end up being huge issues. And so I mean, like, again, for merch, it's like, okay, yeah, let's put in a $10,000 order for merch, which isn't, too crazy considering all the shit that you got to pay for.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, well, your tour is getting cut down from say 20 shows to 10, and then it's just like, there's not going to be twice as many people at those shows now because like the other ones are canceled. That's not how it works.
yeah.
And so it's
You're
all
just
of a
like
sudden
half the amount.
yeah, you're just like, oh shit, are we going to be coming home with like a fuck ton of merch? And then you're also paying those inflated costs, and then you got to fly them home, so you're paying like $100 a bag in fucking baggage fees. It's like, oh, this bag's overweight. This bag's $150. Oh fuck,
Dude, I'm buying a t-shirt at every show I go to now.
yeah, I've been buying t-shirts.
I'm getting one because it's just like there's no way. That's like easily the best way to support the band.
Oh,
is
yeah,
to
for
buy
sure.
some fucking merch. It's
Yeah.
like- and I mean, I got plenty of shirts I just never wear that I bought, and I'm just whatever, who cares. It's a fun keepsake. It's like fuck whatever.
Yeah,
$30.
a memento.
$20-$30. Who gives a shit?
I think it was interesting. I
Some
think
people-
I used to work for Bell Media, who owned like the Bear
The corporate
and
fucking
Virgin
scum!
Radio, and the one radio host, Jeremy White, he went on to go to Montreal, and he just did an interview with Dave Mustaine that's being picked up by like Loudwire and Brave Words and whatever. But in the interview, it was interesting because he was talking about like touring expenses, and then Dave Mustaine, who obviously is in a much bigger band than us. So they'd be like headlining festival, Megadeth for those who don't know. So they'd be like headlining festivals or like big main stage band that plays at night, or playing 10,000 cap venues or more, whatever. And he was saying just for him, like, because they tour with a lot more crew and shit than we do.
Yeah, it's like a day off is like $50,000 or something. Right?
Oh, I think it was way more than
Was
that.
it more than that? Shit.
Yeah, I think it was like in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's just like, yeah, like a day off for us was it's fucking curtains. And then he was talking about how like bus costs have doubled.
Oof.
And it's just like, ugh, that sucks. Because a band that big, they probably have, I don't know, 2, maybe even 3 buses, maybe more. And it's just like, holy shit. And then Dave Mustaine was also mentioning like Avenged Sevenfold, who I guess is a bigger band. And like, I think he said that the cost for the Avenged Sevenfold tour were like over $2 million or something. Like just an absurd amount of money just for the buses. Just the buses.
What the fuck?
And I mean, we tour on buses sometimes, but it's like we're
cost sharing big
Yeah.
time. It's like that's a jammed pack, every last dollar squeezed out of that
Yeah.
fucking bus.
yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too is it's interesting because I feel like there's definitely some what do they call that? Something creep. Like expense creep or whatever.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like as soon as you start earning more money, you start spending more money.
Yeah.
So it's like lifestyle creep. Is that maybe what it is? I can't
Okay.
remember. There's like a term for it, but I can
You
definitely,
must build that on creep.
I can definitely see that happening. It's like, could you imagine how profitable a tour would be for Megadeth if they toured in like
They used our rigs.
one van?
Yeah. A Dodge Caravan.
It's like, yeah, if they
No
pulled up,
amps.
if they pulled up to the show and said they have to provide everything for us,
Yeah.
we're just coming with our guitars.
Yeah.
It's like they'd be fucking rich, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
would never, subject themselves to that lifestyle because they're just way beyond that. But I did think it was interesting the band Knocked Loose,
Yep.
who are like a fucking huge band now. They were like up until I think maybe like last year or this year, probably last year, had never done a band wagon tour.
Oh,
They had
wow,
always just done like they had a van
Yeah.
and that's what they would do. And they're
Yeah.
like, we don't need to spend more, so why would we?
Yeah.
And
Fair
it's
enough.
just like, I'm sure now they're just like, as soon as you do it one time, you're like, I can see the value in this.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
for
I
sure.
actually got some fucking sleep on this
Yeah.
tour. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. It's like you can spend, because a bus now is probably, from the sounds of it, we've never had a bus in the U.S., but it sounds like it's about $2,000 a day or more, American dollar dues, not Canadian Trudeau bucks. But so I mean, that's expensive, and it used to be cheaper. But I mean, imagine the cost difference between a bus at like $2,000 a day versus a van like we roll in. I mean, you can buy.
it's like
I think
the
we bought-
price
you-
of gas.
Yeah, I mean, well, you could buy a van like we have for like $10,000 or less, or like
Yeah.
what is that? The old white van, was that a 350 or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
So something like that. You could probably. I think we bought our first one for about $10,000. You could probably buy something like that, similar for about the same. And a trailer. I mean, that's the gold standard for for touring, for
Yeah.
opening bands and whatever. I see it at Union Hall or whatever all the time, or Starlight. You know, that's what bands tour in. I mean, it's like 2,000. Let's say you're doing like a month-long tour. You're doing 25 shows. It's like, okay, $2,000 a show for a month. So that's $60,000 on a bus, or you just buy your own van for $10,000.
and you could, in theory, sell it.
Yeah, then you could sell it after
It's
the
an
tour.
asset too. It's like
Yeah,
so I don't know. It's like we got a van, and then if it was like worst case Ontario,
yeah,
we
we
would
could just sell it.
sell the van and be like, okay, we can use that money to we'll do whatever with.
Yeah, give everybody liposuction.
Yeah, we need We need to go fly down to Mexico to get stomach staples done.
Yeah, it's
so that
true.
we can have hot summer bods for our new shit.
Abs by August. Let's go.
Hey, I'm working on it. I've been fasting and shit.
Nice. I've been eating so many tacos. It's insane.
The taco battle was nice.
I really want to do a margarita battle now.
Oh, dude,
I
that'd be
have
a
so
mess.
many fucking limes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Limes, tequila, and I don't know what else goes in a margarita, but I got a blender.
You can definitely do. It's literally that's a non-traditional margarita because the traditional one is just tequila, triple sec, and lime juice. That's it. Like that's all the ingredients.
And ice,
So
I
it's like-
guess.
Well, and ice, yeah, poured over ice with a
And I
salted
guess-
rim.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean that's it, and they're so good.
so good.
But you could definitely do different ones. You could do like
We need to have that on next time we're on a bus. We'll have to bring a blender. And then
we
request
need all
tequila,
this. We need
triple
a
sec,
thing
and
to
limes.
squeeze limes with. and
Yeah.
shit.
To my forehead.
Up until now, this is the only way you could squeeze a lemon.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's why touring is so goddamn expensive.
But it's fun. That's the only problem, man. It's like
Yeah.
such a fun time going out playing shows, and it's like
If you want to do anything fun, it costs money, right?
it is true.
So it's kind of nice, at least for us, that we get to roll doing fun things that we like in with, going on tour as a business.
Yeah, that's true.
Shredding is sweat.
The business is sweet. Well, and then that's like going back to what you were saying about like how easy it is to take advantage of musicians. It is super fun. It is a great, especially if you love performing and you love doing music. It's like shit. Like, oh, the only way I can do it is for free. Okay,
Yeah.
but then it's like, yeah, it's free for you, but someone's making money.
Yeah.
So if people are out and enjoying what you're doing, someone's making money. And
Yeah,
it's like, it should be you.
Yeah, people are out at the bar, you're playing at a bar, people are drinking. It's like, okay, maybe you're not getting paid and maybe it wasn't too much of a hassle to get down there, but as soon as you're doing like a fucking tour, like a 20-day tour, or you have to cross one of the oceans to get wherever it is that you're going, you're really hoping that people are going to be there and also pay you. Because, like, man, flights are way too fucking expensive to go over and play, to empty rooms or just a venue that doesn't work or whatever.
It's like these days, I remember it used to be like $1,000 to get to Europe,
Yeah.
like way back.
I do remember
Now it's
going on tour
literally-
paying less than $1,000 for
it was
tickets.
literally double now. And I remember like the Pounding Metal Union and those guys
Yeah.
in Spain, like they were doing stuff where like they would pay essentially like union dues
Yeah.
They would pool that, and then they would like vote, or I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but they would use that union dues to pay for bands to come play, which is like a really cool idea.
That is a cool idea.
It's like sick. It's like, you imagine that like in Edmonton, we're just
Yeah.
like, okay, let's get everybody who likes traditional metal. We pay $20 a month, and once we have enough, we'll vote on which band we want to fly in to play a show.
Yeah.
Like, and then everybody who is part of that would come to the show, and that's what that Pounding Metal Union was, which is sick. But like, you know, that's like such an interesting way to do it. But nowadays, it's like, okay, we need like 100,000 people to
Yeah.
be in the fucking union to like bring someone somewhere. It's
We,
like,
we need
holy
a
shit.
D tier list band, and we're gonna need
Yeah.
$50,000 just to get them here for a one-off. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I was just thinking, like, if you were gonna book Stryker for a one-off,
I mean, a one-off
it
show.
would be mostly just flights and maybe like hotel, like accommodation.
Yeah.
But still, if you were in Europe and you wanted to book Stryker, it would cost you a minimum of $10,000
Oh, yeah. Like for a one-off, for
for
sure.
a one-off show.
Yeah,
It's
for
like,
sure.
holy fuck. Nope.
Yeah.
Like, I would feel bad. I'd be like,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, even in Canada, I mean,
Plus
unless
a guarantee on top of that.
yeah, unless you're in Western Canada, I mean, there's 3 cities in Western Canada: Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver, and maybe Winnipeg, but that's like 2 fucking provinces over.
Yeah.
It's like a 15-hour drive or whatever. It's a long ass drive, and so it's like, okay, that's it. I mean, we have been flown in to play in Toronto, but
Yeah.
still, plane tickets are like fucking $500
Because it's far.
or even more. I mean, it really depends on the flight that you're getting. But yeah, tickets are fucking crazy expensive. And it's like, if you want to go to, say, New Brunswick or something, like on the East Coast, you might as well be flying to fucking Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, we might as well just fly to Mexico and have a vacation.
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. It's like, okay, if you're gonna lose $10,000, like, what is the best way to lose $10,000? Like, just get a giant pile of cocaine or something and just go buck wild. Buy some guns.
Going down to Mexico, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Or you could get sick and have no sleep, sit in a cramped van for 10 hours a day, be mad, be hungry, have no good food.
have undiscovered mold under your bunk
Yeah.
and get fucking pneumonia. Bro.
Get hemorrhoids
Hey,
from
are you-
sitting all day.
Are you having fun yet?
No.
It's like, I'm literally dying.
Yeah, I'm literally dying every time I go on tour. Minus 1 year to life.
So yeah, we appreciate everybody who comes out and actually supports
Yeah,
the
for
band.
sure.
We do get out there and do shit because it is fun in the end, despite the
Despite all my
Fucking-
rage, I'm still just a cat in a cage.
I'm still just
Yeah.
a fucking dude who wants to shred, bro.
Despite all my rage, I'm still just a dud in a cage.
I'm still just a brain dead musician who thinks he's gonna be famous one day.
Shitty.
Yeah. Speaking of fame and fortune, how about that new album that we recorded?
That was a pretty sick album,
Pretty sick.
bro.
I can't wait.
You might say it's the best of the best.
It might be the
Of the
best
best.
of the best. Yeah, I'm excited to we're getting to the engine. Dog's going crazy. The engine is turning. We're getting shit. It's slowly, like. But we got some fun stuff planned. We're getting into it. We're leaving music behind, and we're going into entertainment.
Yes.
Sports entertainment.
We're sports entertainment now.
Yeah.
We're all wrestlers.
We're
and monster
rebranding.
truck drivers.
We are now from Texas.
Yeah. Alberta is big Texas.
We're doing the
Snowy Texas.
Zach Wild, where
Hell yeah,
you
brother.
originate from somewhere like New Jersey, and then somewhere along the way you start identifying with Texas in general, and then you become Texan.
Texas is pretty sweet.
It is fucking sick. I mean, I can't say that I agree with all their politics in a lot of things. As you can see, we don't agree with all of their politics, but
Let's go Bud Light.
as far as just like the fucking vibe down there is like
It's nice.
pretty crazy. It's pretty fun. Like that larger than life shit is sick. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very like that.
I do love Buc-ee's.
Yeah, the Americana stuff, that like over the top, like America's awesome.
USA.
It's like pretty. It's
USA.
pretty fun, right? Like, but unfortunately, there's always like that underbelly of not so good shit. Not so good. Get it? Not so
good.
Dude, what the fuck is going on with that? I saw like a thing in like Florida, dudes with like Nazi flags, like on an overpass, being like protesting.
It's so fucking weird.
What the fuck are you doing, dude? That's insane to me that people would align themselves with like the worst possible.
Yeah, somehow it's
regime.
being like corrupted into like this anti. I don't even know what the fuck they're thinking.
It's like
They're just like, we'll forget about all the bad shit the Nazis did and just be like, oh yeah, but they. I don't even know what they're
It's
into.
bizarre.
They're just like
It's
weird
like, okay, so
white supremacist people.
it's like, are you really a white supremacist? Like, or do you just think that, or some parts of it, or something?
I don't know.
It's just like so strange to me.
I don't understand.
It's like, was there no other group that you could get involved with that would be like, it would.
There's no other way that I can express myself.
Yeah, it's like, can you not express your dislike of the government in a way that's not aligned with the Holocaust? It's like,
No.
that's insane. It's like, there's surely your points that you're trying to make are like not rooted in Nazi Germany.
They're mad because Stryker's not going on tour.
Dude, fuck, I don't blame them, man. Fly the flags, brother.
Stryker, come to Germany.
No, man, like, I don't know. I see that shit on like Reddit and stuff, and I'm just like, man, this is like insane.
Yeah.
But the other thing too about that stuff is it's like it's such a small portion of people. I assume.
I hope so.
I hope so. I really think it is, because it's like that vocal minority where I think like 99% of people are just like, I'm trying to play fucking Diablo 4, man.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 350 million people who are playing Diablo 4.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, I don't have time for that. I got a job. I'm doing all this shit. It's like, who the fuck? Someone made that point about who the hell are these people that are protesting? It's like wealthy white people.
Yeah.
They're like inheritance rich whites going out and being like, who can afford to take time off to drive to a protest and like have a 5-banger flag of like fucking every different bullshit, Confederate flag, Nazi flag, Trump flag. It's like, bro, that's so dumb. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Well, yeah, I think that was like that with the wasn't there Andrew Callahan who went to the January 6th thing?
Oh, maybe that's what it was. He made that comment about being like, who are all these people?
Yeah, who are these people? Because they travel in from all across the country,
Yeah.
and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you come here? And it's like that when people like took over Ottawa, the fucking honky ass honk.
Yeah. Not that honky, but
yeah.
honk.
honking their stupid horns.
Yeah. It's just like they're there for like weeks, and it's like,
Yes. What
did
do
you
do?
take time off for this?
Yeah.
Or like what happened?
Well,
It's like,
actually, I run a small business, and I don't actually do anything at my small business. I just exploit my workers, and
Yeah,
I don't have to be there.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna hang out in downtown Ottawa and fucking piss everybody off because it's my right to destroy Canadian society.
dumbass. I wish I had 80 feet
Yeah.
so that I could put my foot up their ass for 40 days, 40 nights, brother.
Hell yeah.
The other day I watched a compilation of, you remember that 70s show?
Yeah.
Red Foreman's like, put my foot up your ass.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like 20-minute long thing of him talking like.
Didn't they just release like that 90s show? Was that it?
Yeah, they
and
did
they're
like
back?
a sequel.
And
There
it's
was
like
a that.
their kids
Oh, there was a that 80s show that blew,
that failed.
and then I guess the 90s show. But it's like, I'm not watching that. The fuck.
No. Well, I think it's like the same characters and it's their children now or something.
Oh.
So like Red Foreman is the grandpa as opposed to the dad.
Oh, still putting foots in asses.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Sick, bro. Shredding. Or not shredding.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, that's the gist of the touring stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's life.
We ended off with a great rant about how Nazis suck.
Yeah, I blame it on the Nazis. They fucked our shit up.
Yeah, man.
Fucking fuckers.
Dude.
Speaking of...
Top G's getting...
Oh, yeah.
They're getting fucked up, man.
Yeah.
All the top G's are getting fucked up. Donald Trump, indicted, whatever. I still think, okay, so...
He's never going to prison.
So, as a joke, I put a $5 bet on Donald Trump to win in 2024. And...
You know, he might.
Here's the thing.
He just might.
So, when you make a bet on the sports bet thing, it's like you can cash it out. Like, before it starts really like going, you can cash it out in advance.
Yeah.
And if the odds change, it'll represent that in the amount that you can cash out.
Yeah.
So my bet was it was a $5 bet. The payout is like $25.
Yeah.
If he wins. So the cash out for the longest time was like $5.20. So I would make 20 cents if I cashed out.
Because they think he's going to win.
Because they think he's going to win. Now, this shit happened, and it went down.
Ooh.
It went down to like 480 or something like
That's
that.
still pretty close.
I know, it's right? It went down a bit for a while. Or maybe it was like 420 or something. Anyways, it was in the $4 range. And it's back up to $5 even now. So the odds are still...
Those are pretty good odds.
Pretty good odds.
I think
now.
I saw on Reddit the other day, this is maybe like a week or two ago, this is after he was like getting fucked over, getting in trouble with the law. And I think somebody did like a poll of like who would win if the election was today. And I think Joe Biden only won by like a couple percent, like 3 or 4%. It's like, man, what the fuck?
Dude, Robert Kennedy Jr. or whatever that guy's.
All the choices are terrible in the
it's
states.
Trash.
It's
like,
insane.
where's like an actual like finger on the pulse, like moderate guy?
Everyone is like some sort of fucked up like oligarch that's been in power. Like Joe Biden's been in politics for like since the 70s or 60s or something.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
And he's like 85 or something now.
Dude,
It's just
what?
like there's so many hilarious clips of him just like
falling
brain dead,
down.
just like duh. It's like, bro, do you need to be like
He's fallen like
you're
8
the
times or
president
something?
of the United States. You have you got the nuclear football, brother. You can launch them nukes at any time. And it's like, man, you should be having naps all day, bro.
Too old.
You don't need the stress of
well,
this,
you have
man.
you have to be like 35 minimum
I think so,
to
something
run
like
for
that.
president. And it's like, what's the median age of?
Oh, it's probably
presidents?
old as fuck.
I wonder
They
if I
all
can
have
look
gray
that up.
hair. I bet Barack Obama was like the youngest one. It's always interesting too because there's been so many, like, apparently that's like the most stressful job in the entire universe, being the president of the United States, which I can certainly imagine that it would be. But it's interesting, people do like, or I've seen photos where they compare people who start like right the first day of the presidency to the last day of like just their first term or whatever. And it's like, you can see them age like 20 fucking years in the span of 4 years, one term. And just like, man, you got Joe Biden, who's already old as fuck. And it's like, can he handle like the advanced aging process that is being the leader of a
running
country?
around doing bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
So the median, this is surprising actually, the median age at inauguration of incoming U.S. presidents is 55 years. So that's...
But does that include all the young, like...
Well, that's what I'm wondering. It's like...
In the last 100 years, since like World War II, I bet it's been old as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I wonder if I could see here.
Some old-ass muffs.
Age versus time or something. Presidential age-related data. Yeah, so like...
We got the two-tier justice system. Donald Trump will never face justice.
I guess...
got
Okay,
your
so...
boy Trudeau.
Joe Biden, 78. Donald Trump, 70. Barack
Old.
Obama was 47.
Okay.
George
Easy
Bush
boy.
was 54. Bill Clinton was 46. George H.W. Bush was 64. Ronald Reagan was 69.
69.
That's crazy. Jimmy Carter, 52. Gerald Ford, 61. Where were the young? What was the youngest?
It's probably one of the early presidents. That's my guess.
So George Washington, 57. John Adams, 61. I'm just going to go through and see. 54, 51, 49. James Polk. Franklin Pierce, 48. 46. Ulysses S. Grant. I think Grant was like kind of a badass too. 1822, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
So that's, what was that? 40. What did I say that was?
They should get like a 16-year-old kid in there. Really fucking swing it.
Roosevelt was 42.
Oh, there you go.
He might have been the youngest. Kennedy was 43. Huh. There's been 46 presidents. Look at that. Now you know. So yeah, Grant was the youngest.
How old is he again?
46. Still pretty old.
I'm almost that old. Shit.
But like, what's the average? What's the median age in the United States?
I don't know. Bro, statistics are hard. Ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT.
38.
Okay.
That's the median age. So that's the average age is 38. I feel like you should get someone who's 38.
Yeah, probably.
You have to be the median age of the country to be the president.
You can't be in your fucking 80s.
Yeah, because it's like, think about like the difference between like 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
If you're 58 versus 38. It's
Yeah.
like what you represent is
What-
like so different.
Yeah. For
Even
sure.
10 years.
Well,
like,
I think in the States there's it's what do they call it? Not the Senate, not the House. House of Commons is Canada, but Congress.
Congress. Yeah.
I think there's a member of Congress. I can't remember what her name
She's
is.
so old she can't even be there.
Yeah, she has like advanced dementia, and so she doesn't have I can't remember what it, but she's like medically required to have people like around her, like helping her at all times, like not just physically but mentally. Like she has no idea what's going on, and she's still fucking voting. It's like, what the fuck? Like
How is that?
How is that even? How is that a thing? It's just like, what is going on like why is that person a decision maker? How does this make any fucking sense? This is insane.
It's like, hey, can you vote on this super sensitive issue?
What? What
Okay.
planet am I on?
No to abortion.
Like, oh, fuck. Back when I was born in 1940, yeah, I still think I'm in 1940. It's like, what the fuck? Bro, what planet are you on?
That's so cringe. A 38-year-old.
Yeah, everyone in politics should be 38.
Yeah. You have to be within the median. Like, they could do like a heat map. And it's like you have to be within that median age to like represent both sides fairly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think that like, yeah, you learn a lot, and maybe you do a lot. Maybe there's a big enough difference between like 38 and 48 that you're like,
I don't know. I've never been 48 before.
you've become.
I've also never been 38 before, but I have been 28.
Yes. 28 was cool.
I
was
don't
doing
remember
okay.
what I was doing. I was probably on some kind of tour. 28, that was less than 10 years ago, so I was in Stryker.
You ever go back in time and read like old Facebook shit?
Well, yeah, I've been. My girlfriend's really into the like Facebook memories that pop up.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, look, I was doing this or whatever." And so I've started looking at them. I'm just like, "Oh shit, it's kind of neat." But
It's fun to look at. I keep deleting the ones that I'm like, it's just like shit that is. It's just like so cringy to me.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Like even like I've been bored on tour and I go back and look at like the first like in Messenger.
oh yeah,
You can go way back to like 2008.
yeah,
You know, it's like or 2000. I think when I first got Facebook, it was like 2007 or something like that.
yeah,
When I was like 19,
yeah.
and I like go back and look at that, and I'm just like.
That's why you can't be
Who-
president.
I was like, who is this? Just like the tone of the way I'm
Yeah.
saying things. I'm like, I would never write this now. It's like,
Yeah.
This is like just a bizarre way of speaking. And I'm like,
Yeah, well, I think it's like kids these days, they grow up like I know people that have like social media accounts for their like newborn infants and shit.
yeah.
And it's like, imagine growing up and you have social media, like an account for your literally entire life. And so like maybe, you know, it's like, oh, you're 5 years old now. Okay, I'll give you the password to your account and you can start posting shit. And it's just like, oh fuck, like man, imagine having
Daycare was fucking sick today.
Daycare was sick. I only shit my pants 3 times. Like imagine having those dumb ass comments, like the dumb shit that you do like
For your whole life.
yeah, on the internet forever. It's just like fuck.
Dude, and then you feed all that into AI and it just like masters the human race. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we know everything about you guys.
Yeah, I'm so glad that like social media, it was just like right at the end of me getting out of high school or whatever.
Cusp. All right.
I think MySpace was kicking in. Luckily, MySpace has been nuked and it started over again.
Okay. So we got to switch to the Patreon now.
That's what
But
we'll talk about.
if you guys want to get into some cringe shit on the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Striker Metal.
Yeah, join our Patreon so we can afford to go on tour.
Yeah, guys, come on. It's only $1.
Yeah, jeez.
$1.
I'll
If
buy that for $1.
100,000 people join our Patreon, we'll come on tour.
Yeah.
All right, peace.